JapanesePod101 です。
おはよう東京。こんばんはニューヨーク。こんにちはロンドン。
Hi everyone, Jessie です。Jessie here.
こんにちは、夏子です。Hi everyone, 夏子 here.
Welcome to Lower Beginner Season 1, Lesson 4, talking about possession in Japanese.
Yes, thanks for joining us. So Jessie, what are we going to learn in this lesson?
In this lesson, we're going to learn how to say that something belongs to you with the possessive particle no, as well as how to ask someone to call you by your nickname in Japanese.
And where does this lesson's dialogue take place?
As in the previous lesson, Ken is at some kind of work-related party, and he and his girlfriend Emily are talking to one of his colleagues.
では、聞きましょ
Let's listen to the dialogue.
こちらはウッドさんの奥さんですか？
奥さん？
あ、ワイフ？
いいえ、彼女です。彼女のエミリー・マーティンです。
エミリーと呼んでください。よろしくお願いします。森花子です。森と呼んでください。よろしくお願いします。
Let's hear the conversation one time slowly.
こちらはウッドさんの奥さんですか？
奥さん？
あ、ワイフ？
いいえ、彼女です。彼女のエミリー・マーティンです。
エミリーと呼んでください。よろしくお願いします。森花子です。森と呼んでください。よろしくお願いします。
Now let's hear it with the English translation.
こちらはウッドさんの奥さんですか？
Is this your oksan, Mr. Wood?
奥さん？
Oksan?
あ、ワイフ？
Wife?
いいえ、彼女です。彼女のエミリー・マーティンです。
No, she's my girlfriend. This is my girlfriend, Emily Martin.
エミリーと呼んでください。よろしくお願いします。
Please call me Emily. It's very nice to meet you.
森花子です。森と呼んでください。よろしくお願いします。
I'm Hanako Mori. Please call me Mori. Pleased to meet you. So, did you notice the word that Ms. Mori used to ask about Ken's wife?
奥さん。
Yes, it ends in the honorific suffix san, so we know it's a respectful term for the word wife. But Natsuko, you wouldn't use oksan about your own wife, would you?
That's right. In Japanese, you don't use respect language for yourself or people in your group, like your family.
So, how would we say my wife in Japanese?
You could say 妻 or 家内, which are both non-respectful words for wife. Be careful not to use these about someone else's wife though, because that would be rude.
There are lots of cases like this in Japanese where you use humble language for yourself and your group, and respectful language for others. It takes some getting used to. But Natsuko, what about the word husband? Is there respectful and humble words for husband too?
Yes. To refer to someone else's husband, you can say ご主人 or 旦那さん. But to refer to your own husband, you would say just 主人 or 旦那 without respectful prefix ご or suffix さん.
This seems a little complicated.
Don't worry if you make some mistakes at the beginning. Just try to remember to use respectful words for other people and their family, and humble language for yourself and your family.
Okay, great. Now let's look at the vocab for this lesson. Let's take a look at the vocabulary for this lesson. The first word we'll see is
こちら、
this person, this way, polite.
こちら、こちら
Next is
の、
particle indicating possession.
の、の
Next we have
奥さん、
someone else's wife.
奥さん、奥さん、
Next is
彼女、
girlfriend.
彼女、彼女
And next is
と呼んでください。
please call me name.
と呼んでください。と呼んでください。
Let's have a closer look at the usage for some of the words and phrases from this lesson.
The first word we'd look at is 奥さん。
As we mentioned just earlier, this is the polite version of the word for wife. It literally means something like honored person in the depths, meaning honored person inside the depths of the house, which traditionally was the role of the wife. What's the next word, Natsuko?
旦那さん。
And this means husband. If you take off the san and just say danna, you can use it to refer to your own husband too. But there's a slightly more common version of husband, isn't there?
ご主人。
Goshujin is used to refer to someone else's husband. Again, you can take off the honorific prefix and say shujin for your own husband. The word shujin literally means master, so you can see again the traditional Japanese gender roles coming into play here.
Some women prefer 旦那 over 主人 because it has fewer connotations of being ruled by your husband. 旦那 is also a less formal term than 主人.
But what if our listeners aren't married yet? What if they want to talk about their boyfriend or girlfriend? What's the word for boyfriend?
彼氏。
This is sometimes shortened to just kare, meaning just he or him. And what about the word for girlfriend?
彼女。
Be careful because you can't shorten this word. It's always kanojo.
You can also sometimes hear the words boyfriend and girlfriend too.
Now let's move on to the lesson focus. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to talk about things that belong to you, as well as relationships with others with the possessive particle no, as well as how to ask someone to call you by your nickname in Japanese. So Natsuko, how does this no work?
It's actually really easy. All you have to do to say my object is to say 私の object. The order is the same as in English.
Okay, seems straightforward. So how would you say my bag?
Bag in Japanese is カバン. So it would be just 私のカバン.
Great. Now listeners, listen and repeat. My bag.
私のカバン.
Now listeners, try saying my bag in Japanese.
私のカバン.
Easy, right? Now, do you remember the kosoado words you learned in previous series? This is their time to shine. You can add a this is or that is to the phrase my bag to make a full sentence. So Natsuko, how would we say that's my bag?
それは私のカバンです.
Listeners, listen and repeat. That's my bag.
それは私のカバンです.
Now listeners, try saying that's my bag in Japanese.
それは私のカバンです.
All right, now what's the next thing we're looking at today?
You know, you can use this no particle to describe your relationship with other people. It's not just for objects.
Right, because in the dialogue, Mori-san said,
こちらはウッドさんの奥さんですか?
Is this your wife, Mr. Wood? To say your wife, she said, Uddo-san no okusan. Note that she didn't use the word for you, which is anata, but rather said his name. Saying the word for you in Japanese can actually sound overly familiar and rude, So in general, stick to saying the other person's name.
That's right. So to say my wife, my husband, my boyfriend, my girlfriend, etc., all you have to do is say 私の and then the word for wife, husband, etc.
That sounds simple. So say we are talking to someone called Tanaka. How would you say your wife to this Mr. Tanaka?
田中さんの奥さん。
Listeners, listen and repeat. Your wife if you were talking to Mr. Tanaka or Mr. Tanaka's wife.
田中さんの奥さん。
Now try saying your wife is speaking to Mr. Tanaka or Mr. Tanaka's wife in Japanese.
田中さんの奥さん。
Now, in the dialogue, we heard Ken introduce Emily as my girlfriend, Emily, using both her relationship to him and her actual name. So how would we go about doing that in Japanese?
That's easy. You use の again and say 彼女のエミリーです。
With this structure, you just put the particle no between the relationship the person is to you and their name. Remember we said that we can leave out information if it's obvious in Japanese? It's the same here. You don't have to say 私の if it's obvious that you're talking about yourself. So, for example, to say my little sister Sarah, the long version would be
私の妹のサラ。
But what you would say in natural Japanese would be
妹のサラ。
So let's try putting it all together. How would you say, this is my little sister Sarah?
妹のサラです。
You just need to add this to make it a full sentence. Now listeners, listen and repeat. This is my little sister Sarah.
妹のサラです。
Now listeners, try saying, this is my little sister Sarah in Japanese.
妹のサラです。
All right, did you manage it? Great. Now we have one more point to introduce today.
That's right. It's asking people to call you by your preferred name or nickname.
This is a really useful phrase, so listen closely. So Natsuko, how do we say, please call me, and then whatever you want to be called?
We use the phrase name と呼んでください。
This to is what's known as a quoting particle and marks where the quotation ends. Yonde means call, and kudasai is please. So can we have that one more time, Natsuko?
In my case, it would be 夏子と呼んでください。
Listeners, listen and repeat, but using your name instead.
夏子と呼んでください。
Now try saying, please call me, and then your name in Japanese.
夏子と呼んでください。
All right, how did you do? Unfortunately, we're nearly out of time for today.
残念。
Please leave us some comments letting us know how you found the lesson. All right, bye for now.
じゃあまた。
こちらはウッドさんの奥さんですか？
奥さん？
あ、ワイフ？
いいえ、彼女です。彼女のエミリー・マーティンです。
エミリーと呼んでください。よろしくお願いします。森花子です。森と呼んでください。よろしくお願いします。